So I want to get more into the thread that I discussed last night, which was where is this culture of win at all costs coming from in the way that we support our children who are involved in competitive activities. Why is it that teams at a national level in Britain, sporting teams, are doing really badly? Why is it that parents have got this, well, especially fathers, because I can speak from my own personal experiences, have got this, we have to fight this drive really that we want our sons and our children to sort of like to win and at all costs, and I was saying how this is detrimental to the development of overall childhood well-being, but at the same time their own sporting development. So I've got a theory about why this is the case, and I'm just going to back this theory up with a piece of research that I found on the internet, which is a piece of research conducted by UNICEF and Ipsos Mori regarding child well-being, conducted in 2011. So what they've done is they've took a group of children and teenagers from England, Sweden and Spain. Now this has come off the back of a larger piece of research over 8 years, where in 5 different categories of childhood well-being across the 26 most developed nations in the world, the UK as well as the USA came pretty much bottom of every single table. I have explained this to people in the past and they've completely been dumbfounded. So, but this is a bit more of an in-depth qualitative piece of research, and basically what it finds is that in the UK, children feel trapped in a materialistic culture and don't spend enough time with the families. It ranks the UK as bottom in childhood well-being compared with other industrialised nations. The research released today gives an in-depth comparison of over 250 children's experiences across the 3 developed countries, UK, Sweden and Spain. Children in all 3 countries told researchers that their happiness is dependent on having time with a stable family and plenty of things to do, especially outdoors, rather than owning technology or branded clothes. Again, that's the materialism aspect. Despite this, one of the most striking findings is that parents in the UK said they felt tremendous pressure from society to buy goods for their children, Christmas, birthdays. This pressure was felt most acutely in low-income homes. So especially if you live on an estate, the pressure to have the bits of clothes and look the part is massive. I've experienced that myself. You get ripped to bits at school if you've not got those bits, and at the same time your parents are having to go catalogues, HPI, etc, more and more debt, which brings more stress into the household, and then obviously that affects the overall quality of the children's well-being within the household. Consumer culture in the UK contrasts starkly with Sweden and Spain, where family time is prioritised. Children and families are under less pressure to own material goods, and children have greater access to activities out of the home. The amount of people that I know working, in ordinary jobs, but finance jobs, consumer jobs, even working for the local authority, construction even, where the parents are out, especially the father, is out working away, long periods, 12-hour days, working away, where they're working away 5 days a week, 7 days a week, to maintain a particular lifestyle, maintain the money, pay the bills, pay the car, pay the debts. There is this culture in the UK where it's more. With obviously people have got, if you're lucky you've got a mortgage, mate, well, I don't know about that. But there is a culture in the UK about work, owning more material, status going all the way up and up. When you compare culture to Sweden and Spain and other European countries, which is coming through this study here as being completely detrimental and not what, when it comes down to the root of it, it's not exactly what the children want. It's obviously it's a messed up culture. Right now, politicians are grappling with the aftermath of the riots. I'll ignore that bit. So in response to this, UNICEF this research, UNICEF is calling on the UK government to encourage businesses to pay a living wage, so parents don't have to take on several jobs to make a living, which affects the amount of time they can spend with their children. Fair point. All people call people on benefits, but the fact is that benefits are a subsidy to make up for the fact that wages aren't enough. If we was going to go completely down the Tory line, then what should happen is, if you were to take away the government, is that companies pay a proper living wage to people, and the people are incentivised then to progress and have more fulfilled lifestyles. They want to insist that local authorities assess the impact of public spending cuts on children so that funding is protected for play facilities and free leisure activities, which makes complete sense. But obviously under the current rule we're on, everything is being cut which is sacred to children, vulnerable people, elderly people. So obviously they're completely ignoring this piece of research. Children's well-being is not a priority under this current government. In fact, they are an absolute. They are something that they're milking, because obviously children don't have a voice, children don't vote. So, in terms of my summarisation of this piece of research and my own opinion about success, what we want for our children in this country, what we want them to succeed, and obviously teamwork and sport offer opportunities to learn lots about yourself, other people, develop skills, and maybe there's a big career in sport, maybe it's just using transferable skills. But there is a culture in Britain which is selfish. It's very, very selfish. The culture drips down from the top. The government themselves, these Tory lot, don't really believe in community, although they look after each other, and it's called cronyism. They basically want to pit each other against each other, divide and rule basically. And as parents, you've got a responsibility obviously to provide materials for your children, but there's a balance. Quality time is the most important thing. Sacrifices are worth making monetarily, especially early on in your children's lives, in order to give them the necessary foundations for them to become good people and to do well. It's all about becoming rounded people. Now, in this current climate, it's very difficult to be a rounded person and to have balance in terms of leisure, work, play, quality time and fulfilment. But if you really want something, then you can do it, in my opinion. So just something for you to chew on, really. You know, it's tough out there, but it all starts with questioning. And if you're serious about being a good parent, then it's the most challenging job in the world, but it's the most fulfilling job in the world. So I'll leave that with you.